Welcome, parents and guardians and family members, teachers and staff, all you grown-ups who are doing your best to nurture and protect and care for the children in your lives. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to a few thoughts on curriculum. I'm Christina Martin. Welcome to a brand new school year at the Children's School. We're so happy you're here. So you probably already know that here at the Children's School, we do things a little differently when it comes to curriculum. Our curriculum is emergent. It is connected to children's interests and children's lives. Our curriculum is play-based and project-based. Our curriculum honors social emotional learning as being crucial to child and adolescent development. And our curriculum is a living, breathing entity. It's not just a bunch of stuff that got written down one time and now lives on forever in a list. So our faculty spends time each summer revisiting our curriculum, revising and changing to reflect our current best practices for meeting the needs of children. It's true that our curriculum does include a list of the skills and concepts that we want children to master at each developmental level. Those are our grade level curricular skills. Things like learning to write with conventional spelling, learning how to subtract with regrouping, learning how to support your argument with textual evidence. These are grade level curricular goals are important, they're useful, they take big goals like learning how to read and learning how to do math, and they break them down into discrete steps. But for us at the Children's School, the grade level curricular goals are not the sum total of our curriculum. They're just the starting point. Our curriculum is bigger and broader. It encompasses all the experiences we want our children to have and all the qualities we want them to develop. Things like curiosity, collaborative ability, creativity, things that are not easily measured, but that are critically important. Our hopes for each child outline these broader curricular goals. At the Children's School, we recognize that for students to have the kind of profound learning experience that help them become curious, creative, collaborative, critical thinkers, there has to be more than just information imparted. There has to be connection and there has to be inspiration. These are things we excel at the Children's School. And honestly, I think very few people would disagree about the importance of connection and inspiration for meaningful learning. But at the same time, most schools aren't organized to prioritize connection and inspiration. Most schools are organized to prioritize other things, things like rote memorization, competition among students, quantitative measures of achievement like test scores. At the Children's School, we have the freedom to be organized around connection and inspiration. Another thing about these grade level curricular goals is that they seem to imply that children's learning is strictly linear, that they learn one thing and then the next and then the next in a very orderly, controlled way. But actually learning and human development are more like a circle or a spiral. Skills that are mastered in one grade level are revisited and expanded on each year thereafter as students' understanding becomes deeper, richer, more nuanced. This is another thing that the Children's School excels at. Our curriculum builds skills and concepts from kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade so that students revisit and re-examine important ideas from different developmental levels. Here's an example from our science curriculum and woods trips. This is something faculty has been spending lots of time on as we launch our new middle level science program. During curriculum week, we discussed how learning experiences in the woods create a spiral curriculum so that students are revisiting concepts each year at their new developmental level. In kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, our pond teachers are working to instill an appreciation and enjoyment of nature. For young children, this starts with exploration and play. Students work on building stamina for being outdoors, for managing discomfort like fatigue or rain or cold. They work on awareness by carefully observing and sketching what they see. They practice formulating questions and researching answers, whether by turning over that log to see what's underneath or by coming back to the classroom and looking up facts about plants and animals. In grades 3, 4, and 5, our lake teachers continue to build core routines around appreciating and respecting and understanding the natural world. Students build their observational skills through nature journaling, writing, and sketching. They observe, measure, and count. They ask themselves, does this look like anything I've seen before? They generate I wonder questions, which can be discussed or researched or pondered further. Our 4th and 5th grade students recently spent time in the woods, measuring out a 1 foot by 1 foot square, and then collecting data on the organisms they found there. Such activities combine skills like data collection and classification with hands-on, authentic tasks, observing and sharing what you see. In grades 6, 7, and 8, this is where students take a deeper dive into scientific principles of ecology, biology, biochemistry, environmental science. 8th graders are currently learning about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, the building blocks of life, before they move on to think more broadly about systems, about form and function, evolution and equilibrium. But here again, teachers couple this academic learning with hands-on experiences like collecting water samples and analyzing them. Our science curriculum enriches project work by taking student-chosen topics and adding science extensions and providing possibilities for action steps outside the walls of the classroom. While in the woods, students are working on stewardship and seeing the woods not just as a giant playground, but as a complex ecosystem filled with living beings, part of natural history and human history. And teachers also allow time for open-ended play and exploration, which is fun and rewarding for adolescents and gives them time to develop their own interests and their own friendships. All of these curricular ideas I just shared come from teachers during curriculum week. We were discussing our own best practices for quality time in the woods. Teachers shared so many great ideas. I wish each one of you could be a fly on the wall to hear one of these faculty discussions. I think you would be blown away by the richness, the depth, the expertise, and also the care and compassion you would hear. And that reminds me of something that Daniel Ryan, founder of the Children's School, often said to me and to Miss Nadine in the early days of the school, way back in 2004, 2005. He would say, the teacher is the curriculum. Now, what did he mean by that? I think what he meant is that what students actually learn in a classroom is inextricably bound up with who the teacher is and how the teacher thinks and speaks and acts, manages their emotions, interacts with people, models things like planning and prioritizing and questioning and taking risks. All of these qualities of the teacher form a major part of what students are exposed to and what they learn about in a classroom. And not only is it true that the teacher is the curriculum, but we can take it one step further and say that the school is the curriculum. What does the institution value? How is it organized? How do people interact with each other? Who has power? Who has voice? How are decisions made? Is there accountability for words and actions and impacts? The answers to these questions form a huge body of learning, of curriculum for our students. So the teacher is the curriculum and the school is the curriculum. This is super important because it implicates all of us, the whole community, students, teachers, staff, administrators, family members. All of us are part of transmitting values, of imparting knowledge. All of us are the keepers and the enactors of the curriculum. And this is why I say that curriculum at the Children's School is a living, breathing entity, because it encompasses the values and practices of the entire community, and it changes and develops as the community changes and develops. In closing, I want to share with you the high points of the curriculum that I see enacted every day at the Children's School, When I walk through the classrooms or the hallways or outside, and I see different classes going about their day, I see kindness and empathy practiced routinely. I see us valuing each individual's voice and each individual's perspective. And I see an unshakable conviction that what children are learning and doing and saying is important and meaningful. I see a deep commitment to equity and an understanding that it's not enough to say everyone gets to vote or anyone who wants to can speak up, because we can't assume that everyone walks to things equally. And so we have to consciously create spaces and processes that elevate quieter voices and consider all perspectives. And I see a strong commitment to doing the hard work of truly living in community, to productively work through disagreement and conflict, to take collective action, and to support each individual to get their own needs met while also protecting the needs of the whole group. So as you go on to talk more with your classroom teacher during curriculum night or during our upcoming goal setting conferences, I want you to know right now that your children are in excellent hands. I've never met a more thoughtful group of people than the teachers at the children's school. They're thoughtful about the day-to-day, the grade level skills and concepts to be taught throughout the year, but more importantly, they are so thoughtful and so dedicated when it comes to the larger, underlying, sometimes even unarticulated curriculum. How do I teach decoding or cursive or long division or persuasive writing or linear equations or whatever it is? How do I teach that thing in such a way that each child in the room is cared for and nurtured and supported to learn and grow? That is the true curriculum, the heart of the curriculum at the children's school. Thank you.